up, folks? This is Peter Modiba, and welcome to my channel. You know what it is. It is about that time. It is about that prime. It is prime time. I'm so excited for today's show. It's going to be insightful. It's going to be empowering. We're going to learn so much. And man, oh man, it has been such a long time. Yo, I've missed you guys, eh? It's been a very, very long time. And I just can't wait to get into this episode. But before we do that, let's take a look at my fitness progress for the week.
Whoa, my. I took them losses, now it's time to grind. Yeah, my mama told me never stay down. Yeah, jump back right, it's prime time. Prime time. Yeah, I took them losses, now it's time to grind. My mama told me never stay down. Yeah, jump back right, it's prime time. Prime time, oh prime time. Took a L, jump back right.
Hey now, will you look at that, guys? We are pushing, we are moving forward, and we are evolving when it comes to all things prime time. But without further ado, let's jump into the topic of discussion for today. And what I want to discuss with you guys and what I want to speak about is having the boldness and the courage to get back up. It's having the boldness and the courage to get back up. And I don't know, who needs to hear this, and I don't know who this applies to. But maybe you find yourself at a place where you feel, maybe you have given up, maybe you feel dormant, maybe you feel mediocre, maybe you feel tired, maybe you feel disappointed, maybe you feel sorry for yourself, maybe you're at a point where you slipped up and maybe you have fallen. But today I want to speak to you and I want to say to you that you need to get back up because there is more in you. And I had this epiphany the other day while I was climbing a flight of stairs. And it's not the ones that you see behind me. I was climbing another flight of stairs. But in the process of climbing up these flight of stairs, what happened is that I slipped, right? I missed a step and I slipped and I fell and I hurt myself. And in that very moment, what happened is that I immediately got back up and I started to rub myself. I started to just comfort myself and I just started to dust everything off and I gained my composure back and I carried on climbing the flight of stairs until I reached the top, because at the top, there is something that I wanted to there was something I needed to possess. There is something that I just wanted to accomplish, but I couldn't accomplish that thing if I actually didn't reach the top. And actually, when I actually realized, what I actually went through, I realized that this story or what happened to me applies within our lives. It can be representative of our goals. It can represent our plans and what we have in store, for the future. Because if you think about it, we are all climbing certain stairs, right? We're all climbing certain stairs, and even some of us, there's something that we want to accomplish. There's certain goals that we want to accomplish. And I realized that there are two types of people. There is one person who has a desired goal to reach, and as they're going through the process and as they're moving forward, as soon as they get hurt and as soon as they slip up or something happens, what happens is that they don't actually carry on. What they do is that they magnify the pain. They believe that the pain is who they are, and what they do is that they compromise. So what happens is that they go down the stairs and they go back to the level of what was normal within their lives. They go back to the level which was mediocre. They go back to a level which is comfortable, something that they are used to. Because why? They experience pain and they experience a moment of disappointment. But then now there is a second person who has a different mindset. So the second person actually goes up the stairs, and as soon as there's a moment of hurt or there's a moment of pain or something brutal happens to them, what they do is that they don't focus on the pain. They get back up and they carry on going because they know that there is something that is waiting for them as soon as they are done with the process. And that's something that I want to highlight today. You see, there is something that is waiting for you. There is something which is amazing, something on the other side, something which you've never seen before, something which you've never imagined before, something which is just great, which is just so awesome. But you'll never obtain that thing if you give in, if you give up. And it reminds me of the picture, that animation or that cartoon. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it before. It has two men who are they're in a sort of like a minefield, and they're actually digging up in order to get diamonds. And the first man, he has a long way to go, but he's persevering. He is pushing. He is working hard. He's just going for it. He's adamant, and he is he's determined. But then now there is actually the second person. The second person actually worked even harder than the first person. But this second person, what happened was that they were at the brink of just obtaining those diamonds. They were just at, if that man just dug a little longer, if they had, if he dug 5 times or 10 times or just a little longer, he was actually going to accomplish and obtain those diamonds. But what happened is that he left everything. He ended up giving up, he gave in, and he walked the opposite direction. You see, as I said in the first, example, he compromised, he went back to the level of mediocrity and of average and something that he's used to. Because why? He didn't see what he wanted to see, and he experienced pain and whatnot. And we can't be like that. You just have to go the extra mile. You just have to go a little longer. Keep on keeping on, and you will see that what you're waiting for is going to come into fruition. But you can't give in. Giving up is not an option. I'm going to repeat that. Giving up is not an option. And I love, this Chinese proverb. It says, failure is not falling, but failure is the refusal to get back up after falling. And that's what true failure is. True failure is not a moment of circumstance. You see, because all of us, we're going to go through things, right? We can't be oblivious to that. Things are going to happen. Times are going to be tough. We're going to experience hard things, right? But that's not the real failure. The failure is when you make the things who you are. You make the circumstance who you are. You make the storm who you are. And now because the storm is happening, now you feel like you can't go through it. Instead, you actually you want to run away from it. You actually want to compromise, and you want to do something differently. And that's not what it's actually supposed to be. That's not what it's supposed to be. We need to make sure that we keep on keeping on, because that shouldn't actually define you. You got to look at the end goal. You got to look at the destination. You got to look at where you are going, because that comes into play in a very, very big way. And also, what I've also learned is that it's only just a mindset thing. It's only just it's just deception. It's just a lie. And I'm going to prove it to you guys. Actually, giving up is just a lie. It's just a deception. Why? Because what happens is that you don't actually see the progress which you have made. Isn't that so? You only see the moment of circumstance. You see the moment of falling. You only see the moment of disruption. That's only you see. But you don't actually see the steps of progress and the steps of conquest and the steps of success in which you have made. And that's what happens when you fall. I want you to think about it like this. It's not just, it's not something bad. It's just your point of highest conquest. That's all it is. It's the point of your highest conquest. Why? Because you made a progression. A lot of us think that now it's back to square one. No. You're not back to square one. You're just only at the point of your conquest. So what do you need to do? You need to get back from that conquest. And now what you need to do? You need to actually conquer more and more and more and more. That's all it is. It's just a shift in perspective and a shift in mindset that we need to actually possess. And when we look at the world and when we look at what's happening, think about it. Everything is progressing. Everything is moving forward. Technology is moving forward. Innovation is moving forward. Information is moving forward. Our ages are moving forward. The years are moving forward. So everything is rapidly and exponentially going to the next level. But what's funny? What's funny is that when you look at our mindsets, when we look at our goals, when we look at our plans, that's not evolving. We always like to see the past. We like to see, what happened to me, in the past, or the mistakes that you made, or where you have fallen, or the circumstance or the situation. You like seeing things from a back point of view, a past point of view. But what should change? What should change? It shouldn't be a past mindset, but it should be a future mindset, an evolving mindset, a destination type of mindset. Because if everything is moving forward, why can't our mindsets also progress and also move forward? Because that initially is the way that it's supposed to be. And what I want to leave you guys with is, I want to leave you with such an amazing, insightful, and also impactful video that I watched. And it was shared by Mr. Derek, who was a British sprinter. And you guys might know him. He's Derek Redmond, and he was a British sprinter, and he was well known. Even today, he's very well known. And something significant happened to him when he was running in the Olympics in the year 1992. Something really crazy happened to him, and I'm sure you guys, some of you have seen his story and actually what had happened. But it was really, really awesome, and I want you guys to actually check it out. So please take a moment and just have a look.
Somebody once asked me, how do you become successful? And the easiest and most relevant answer is to get up just one more time when you've been knocked down. Physically, I felt good. Mentally, I was in excellent shape. I really didn't think there was going to be any issues in qualifying. I didn't think I would have any problems getting through to the final. I ran the first 100 exactly how I was supposed to. I'm going down the back straight, and then, 50 metres down the back straight, as I always say, I heard this funny pop. And I thought it was a noise in the crowd, first of all, so I carried on running for 2 or 3 strides, and then I felt the pain and realised it was a hamstring pull. So the reason I got up and started running is because in my mind I thought, if I get up now and start running, I could still qualify, because the guy still had about 120 metres to go at that time. I wasn't going to be beaten by the Olympics. I felt I could live with finishing 8th in the semi-final and getting knocked out, but I couldn't live with not finishing at all. Had my coach have done that, had a teammate of mine done that, had one of the officials help me around, it wouldn't have had the same effect as it did on the world as it did because it was my old man. I'm 54 years of age at the moment. It has been the only time I've ever heard my dad swear. People aren't born successful. People might be born into successful families, but they're not born successful themselves. And some of the strongest people out there are the ones that's had a lot of problems in the past, and they've learned from those problems. When you do get knocked down and you get up as if that was the last time. And if it isn't, you get up as if this time is the last time. If it isn't, you keep on doing that, and eventually you won't get knocked out.